Welcome back to LC Coins World. Today, we're taking a deep dive into one of the most iconic and patriotic coins in American numismatic history, the 1776 to 1976 Bicentennial Eisenhower $1 silver coin, a bold and powerful symbol of freedom, history, and American pride. This coin was minted to celebrate the 200th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence, and it holds a unique place in the hearts of collectors and history lovers across the country. This episode will explore the rich origins of the Eisenhower Dollar series, the design decisions that led to the creation of the special bicentennial version, the political, cultural, and economic context of 1972's America, and how this coin became both a circulating commemorative and a treasured collectible. We'll begin with the story of the Eisenhower dollar itself. Introduced in 1971, following the death of President Dwight D. Eisenhower, the 34th President of the United States and Supreme Commander of the Allied Forces in World War II. This coin was the first $1 coin produced for circulation since the peace dollar was discontinued in 1935. The Eisenhower dollar was larger than most coins used at the time, struck in both copper, nickel, and silver-clad varieties. It carried a powerful presence in the hand and in American pockets. But the most unique addition came in 1975. In 1976, when the United States Mint released the special bicentennial design to honor 200 years of American independence. Rather than using the typical date, the coins featured a dual date, 1776 to 1976, to mark the nation's founding and its enduring legacy. The obverse still carried Frank Gasparo's iconic portrait of Dwight D. Eisenhower, but the reverse was replaced with a powerful new image designed by Dennis R. Williams featuring the Liberty Bell superimposed on the moon, an intentional combination symbolizing both America's historic past and its future in space exploration, a nod to Eisenhower's role in launching NASA and the country's role in the space race. Now the 1776 to 1976 Eisenhower dollar came in several versions, including circulation strikes and special collector editions. There were coins struck in copper nickel for everyday use, and 40% silver versions released in special collector sets by the United States Mint. These silver-clad versions are highly sought after today for both their silver content and historical significance. In addition to being a patriotic piece of metal, they serve as tangible reminders of America's bicentennial celebration, which included parades, music, TV specials, and even a nationwide sense of unity and reflection. As we continue, we'll explore the exact mintage numbers of each type, the differences between business strike and proof coins, the San Francisco mint marks, and how to spot rare varieties that have increased in value over the years. We'll also walk through how these coins were packaged, marketed, and sold by the U.S. Mint, especially the 3-coin silver. Walk through how these coins were packaged, marketed, and sold by the U.S. Mint, especially the 3-coin silver and circulated sets and blue packs that remain favorites among collectors today. We'll dive into the economic and cultural atmosphere of 1976, a year marked by both pride and uncertainty. America was recovering from the Watergate scandal, facing rising inflation and economic challenges, but at the same time, the bicentennial year brought people together in celebration of American resilience and ideals. And the Eisenhower Bicentennial Dollar was a major part of that story, distributed through banks and mint programs and placed into the hands of millions of Americans as a piece of celebratory currency. You'll learn the stories of the designers behind the coin and how a then 22-year-old art student, Dennis R. Williams, won a national competition to design the reverse. His powerful imagery of the Liberty Bell and moon stood out, not just as a patriotic tribute, but also a symbol of the space age, optimism, and national pride of the time. Throughout this 2-hour journey, we'll also cover how to identify authentic silver-clad Eisenhower Bicentennial dollars from their copper-nickel counterparts, how to grade their condition using professional standards, how to evaluate their current market value, and what to watch out for in terms of fakes or altered coins that are sometimes seen in online sales. We'll also look at how these coins have performed over time in terms of investment, which coins are the most valuable today, how error coins such as doubled dies or off-center strikes have added to collector demand, and where these coins stand in the greater landscape of U.S. commemorative coinage. So stay tuned as we travel through the legacy of liberty, the evolution of U.S. coinage, and the patriotic power of the 1776 to 1976 Eisenhower $1 coin. This is more than just a silver disc. It's a piece of American pride and living history, and you're about to discover why it deserves a special place in your collection and in our collective memory.
At auction. Yes, you heard that right. A coin that looks scratched up and nearly worthless could secretly be a 6F. Figure jackpot hiding in plain sight. Imagine reaching into a box of old change, pulling out this coin and discovering it's worth more than a brand new luxury car. That's the thrill of coin collecting. And don't think the bad condition ruins the value. Quite the opposite. Era collectors don't mind scratches, discoloration, or heavy wear. They care about the rarity of the mistake. A double die is still a double die. Whether the coin is mint state shiny or beaten up and ugly, that means coins, just like this one, ugly, tarnished, and worn, can still command shocking prices if the right error is there. So what should you look for if you find a 1974 Eisenhower dollar? Start by carefully examining the lettering on the front. Look at Liberty. Look at the motto in God We Trust, and check the date. Doubling there could mean you're holding thousands of dollars. On the reverse, study the eagle, the moon's surface, and the stars surrounding the design. Off-centering, doubling, or unusual. Cracks in the die marks could spell big money. But here's the kicker. Most people never check. They see a coin like this worn and stained and assume it's worthless. That's why so many of these treasures are still sitting in coin jars, desk drawers, and old shoeboxes across America. They're hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone like you to take a closer look. And when one of these error coins surfaces at auction, the bidding wars are nothing short of electric. Collectors know just how rare they are, and they'll fight tooth and nail, pushing the price higher and higher. Imagine watching your old beat up dollar cross the auction block and sell for $85,000 or $120,000 or even more. That's the kind of story that keeps coin hunters searching. That's why every Eisenhower dollar is worth a second look, no matter how bad it looks on the outside. So the next time you come across one of these tarnished old giants, don't toss it aside. Hold it up to the light, flip it back and forth, and examine it carefully. You might just be staring at a small fortune disguised as pocket change. Now let me turn this over to you. Have you ever taken a close look at your Eisenhower dollars? Do you have a 1978 D sitting in a drawer somewhere, scratched and forgotten? If so, maybe it's time to dust it off and give it a tarnished old giants. Don't toss it aside. Hold it up to the light, flip it back and forth, and examine it carefully. You might just be staring at a small fortune disguised as pocket change. Now let me turn this over to you. Have you ever taken a close look at your Eisenhower dollars? Do you have a 1978 D sitting in a drawer somewhere, scratched and forgotten? If so, maybe it's time to dust it off and give it a closer inspection. You never know what secrets it might be hiding. And if you love uncovering rare U.S. mint mysteries, where I reveal even more incredible stories behind America's rarest coins, the link is right below in the first comment. Go check it out. Because remember, the next big discovery could be sitting in your collection right now, waiting for you to notice it. And if this 1974 Eisenhower dollar has taught us anything, it's that even the ugliest coin can hide the most beautiful surprises. Coin carries with it not only the image of a great American leader, but also the story of a nation in transition during the mid to late 1970s, and by carefully walking through its history, design, composition, mintage varieties, and its cultural impact, we can easily explore a narrative that stretches across 2 hours of rich storytelling and historical reflection. The Eisenhower Dollar was first authorized in 1970 to honor both President Dwight D. Eisenhower the Supreme, Allied commander during World War II and later the 34th President of the United States, and the Apollo 11 moon landing of 1969, which had brought American pride and technological achievement to new heights. The first Eisenhower dollars were minted in 1971, but by the time we reached 1977, the series had already seen shifts in production, metal composition, and public reception that made it a fascinating coin to study. The 1977 Eisenhower dollar came at a time when America was dealing with economic struggles, rising inflation, and political fatigue after Watergate and the Vietnam War. The coin itself was part of everyday commerce, but it also carried a weighty symbolism. The obverse design by Frank Gasparro featured a strong profile of Dwight D. Eisenhower looking left with liberty above and the date 1977 below, along with the motto, "In God We Trust." This portrait was intended to honor Eisenhower's leadership and calm strength, a reflection of America's need for stability during uncertain years. On the reverse side, the design honored the Apollo 11 moon landing, featuring an eagle landing on the moon with an olive branch in its claws taken directly from the Apollo 11 mission patch. The Earth was shown above in the background, a reminder that this was not only an American achievement but a moment for humanity. The word United States of America surrounded the top, while $1 was displayed below along with the national motto, E pluribus unum. This reverse connected the legacy of Eisenhower with the space-age achievements that defined the late 1960s and early 1970s. When it comes to composition, the 1977 Eisenhower dollar was struck in copper-nickel clad for circulation. This meant that unlike the earlier 1971 to 1974 collector issues, which included silver-clad versions, the 1977 Eisenhower dollar was not struck in silver but in a composition similar to that used in quarters and half dollars of the time, weighing 22.68 grams and measuring 38.1 millimeters across, making it the largest circulating coin of its era. However, its size and weight often made it unpopular for everyday use, as many Americans preferred lighter coins or paper money, leading to a decline in its acceptance. The Philadelphia and Denver mints both struck 1977. Eisenhower dollars with no mint mark for Philadelphia and a D mint mark for Denver, while the San Francisco Mint produced proof coins bearing the S mint mark. Collectors today pay close attention to the condition of these coins as high-grade mint state examples with sharp luster, and the Philadelphia and Denver mints both struck 1977 D. Eisenhower $1 with no mint mark for Philadelphia and a D mint mark for Denver, while the San Francisco Mint produced proof coins bearing the S mint mark. Collectors today pay close attention to the condition of these coins as high-grade mint state examples with sharp luster and minimal bag marks can be worth significantly more than face value proof issues, in particular showcase mirror-like fields and frosted devices, making them especially attractive to numismatists. Errors and varieties also play an important role in the history of the 1977 D. Eisenhower $1. Like other coins of the 1970s, issues such as off, center strikes, double dies, and planchet errors are highly collectible. A well-preserved error coin can command a premium, and for many collectors, these anomalies are what transform a common coin into a true treasure. Culturally, the Eisenhower $1 holds a special place in the memories of Americans who lived during the 1970s and early 1980s, while many younger people may never have seen one in daily change. Older generations often recall receiving Eisenhower $1 at banks during the holiday season or as gifts from relatives. Its size made it memorable, even if impractical. And today, the coin is often looked at nostalgically as a relic of an era when the mint still experimented with large circulating coins before ultimately moving to the smaller Susan B. Anthony dollar in 1979. In 1977 D, specifically the Eisenhower $1 was produced in the hundreds of millions, ensuring that it was widely available at the time, yet because so many were either spent, circulated heavily, or eventually withdrawn from circulation, truly high-quality examples are much harder to come by. This scarcity in higher grades drives collector interest today, especially in MS-65 or better, where population numbers thin out dramatically. From a historical perspective, the 1977 D. Eisenhower $1 represents more than just a piece of currency. It is a tangible link to President Eisenhower's legacy, both as a wartime general and as a steady president during a time of great change. It also embodies America's pride in space exploration, connecting the triumph of Apollo 11 with the spirit of innovation that continued into the 1970s, and at the same time it reflects the challenges of the U.S. Mint in trying to balance tradition with practicality, since the coin was admired for its design but struggled in circulation. Over the course of a 2-hour video, we could explore Eisenhower's life from his role in leading the Allied forces on D-Day to his presidency during the Cold War. We could trace the design process led by Chief Engraver Frank Gasparo and the debates within the Mint and Congress over whether the coin should be struck in silver or clad. We could explore the economic conditions of the late 1970s, inflation, gas shortages, political disillusionment, and how a coin minted in those years served as a quiet